Today at Westminster, everything was rather up in the air, with a flypast to mark 100 years of the Royal Air Force, and nobody really clear where the Brexit resignation story would go next. Michael Gove seemed to confirm he's definitely staying put.
So are you fully behind Theresa May's Brexit plan?
100%.
Have you considered resigning yourself over this?
Absolutely not.
And what do you think of Boris Johnson's decision and David Davis' decision to resign?
Well, I admire Boris and David very much. I'm sorry that they've left the government, but I hope you have a lovely day.
And is Theresa May now in trouble as a result of all this?
No.
Another Brexiteer, Esther McVey, stays loyal too.
Do you have full confidence in Theresa May?
Of course I do.
As Theresa May's new cabinet met for the first time, the PM hoped to restore order to the Brexit process and to party ranks. Then backbencher Andrew Bridgen popped up.
I'm just going to see Mr. Brady. I've got a meeting with him.
He'd gone, we soon learn, with a letter calling for a confidence vote in the Prime Minister. It would take 48 such letters for the vote to be triggered. But the tactic isn't being adopted by most hardline Brexiteers, it seems. At least, not for now.
The one thing we don't need now is any kind of leadership battle. Not only would that undermine the negotiations going on, we wouldn't have anybody doing the negotiations, presuming the negotiation would stall. But of course, secondly, we don't know who would be the outcome, who would win. Maybe it would be some Remainer would win that battle. So no, we don't want leadership battle for now. We want.
So you're threatening possibly things?
I think not threatening. I couldn't know predicting. It'd be more accurate. I think that what we are requiring is an absolutely straightforward, clean Brexit, as the Prime Minister has promised. If in time she chooses not to be able to deliver that clean Brexit that she herself has time and again promised, then of course I imagine she'd wish to consider her own position.
This afternoon came news that 2 MPs in the team of senior Conservative Party officials had quit. Maria Caulfield, Vice Chair for Women, and Ben Bradley, Vice Chair for Youth. Both warned that persisting with the Chequers policy would put Jeremy Corbyn into number 10. So as Donald Trump flew off to Europe for the NATO summit and then to Britain and to meet President Putin, what did he make of all this?
Well, so I have NATO, I have the UK, which is in somewhat turmoil, and I have Putin. Frankly, Putin may be the easiest of them all. Who would think? Who would think? But the UK certainly has they have a lot of things going on. Boris Johnson's a friend of mine. He's been very, very nice to me, very supportive. And I maybe will speak to him when I get over there. I like Boris Johnson. I've always liked him.
This afternoon, Theresa May was with Angela Merkel at a diplomatic conference in London, their second meeting in 6 days. And the German Chancellor said she wants as close as possible relations with Britain, whatever happens on Brexit. Another sign the EU has been rather friendlier to Britain of late. But some Brexiteers fear that at Chequers, May granted Merkel rather too much say over Brexit policy.
One thing I did pick up, just anecdotally, it may not be true, but I heard that the Prime Minister quoted an aide, Chancellor Merkel, and she said, oh, Chancellor Merkel agrees with this particular part or disagrees with that particular part, we can't change that. Now, that would be a very strange situation if we had the Chancellor of Germany dictating to the British Cabinet what they could or could not do. May not be true, it's purely anecdotal, I'm merely passing on the scuttlebutt from the House of Commons tea room.
James Gray warns Theresa May as many as 80 Tory colleagues will rebel this autumn and thereby defeat the new Brexit policy. But the PM presses on. This afternoon she confirmed the long-awaited Brexit White Paper will come out later this week.
What do voters, many of whom supported Brexit, make of all the government chaos? Do they blame Boris, or is there faith in Theresa May to hold it all together in the end?
Quite an illuminating day here in Somerset, John. No shortage of strong opinions at the mere mention of politics and the latest ongoings in Westminster, mostly, quite often prefaced with the line, what I'd really like to say, I can't repeat on camera. There's been plenty of strong opinions about Boris Johnson. I did find one voter who said that he supported his decision to quit the cabinet, but most others, I have to say, distinctly unimpressed by his actions. As for Theresa May, some sympathy among voters, but overall, you only had to look at people's faces to get a sense of the utter exasperation some around the UK currently feel with the state, the latest saga in the Brexit story. If the age of steam meant a time when Britain knew where it was headed, sure of its place in a mighty new industrial world, then the age of Brexit has got off to a far less convincing start. What do you think of the way politicians are handling this?
Rubbish.
I'm lost for words, actually. It's completely, it's mental. I wouldn't even know what to say. It's just ridiculous.
On the heritage line from Bishop's Lydiard to Minehead in Somerset this morning, and how easily the mention of politics punctured the genteel atmosphere. Are you a Conservative?
Yes.
And what do you think of your party right now?
Unorganised.
Is that the politest way of putting it?
Well, I think it's yes. It's a shambles at the moment, actually.
I think it's a bit too close to the Brexit happening for it to all go this way now.
Boris Johnson, well, what can I say?
What can you say?
He's a buffoon.
A buffoon?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Many a Boris Johnson critic we found today, and a swipe at Brussels too from this erstwhile Remain supporter.
But I have to say I've actually changed my mind, because I think we've been so messed about by Brussels.
So you're a Remainer who now backs Leave?
Yes. Oh yes. Yeah. I don't like being bullied. I really don't like being bullied, and I feel that's what's happened and happening.
Whatever is happening, it's political clarity that many we spoke to today craved, among them one of the directors running this rail line.
You know, what is actually going to happen? How is it going to affect us as a small employer in West Somerset? How is it going to affect employment? How is it going to affect spending? So really it's a case of tell us what's going to happen and get on with it.
Minehead, end of the line in a strong pro-Brexit area, end of their tether for some Leave voters here, and not just with the Tories.
Enraged, it's a farce. Why can they not get all these intelligent people, supposedly, from each party and make up a cabinet? Then they could perhaps sort it.
It was never going to be simple, though, was it?
No, we know that, but how it's going on and on, it should have been sorted out by now, I think. Don't you?
We've been Labour voters all our lives. But if there was to call a general election now, what on earth would we do? Because there's no way I could back Jeremy Corbyn. No way. So I would be in a real dilemma.
Boris Johnson came in for more criticism, save from this Brexit voter disillusioned with Theresa May. Theresa May is taking Britain out of the European Union.
But she's not. We're still going to be tied to it. And that's not what we voted for. We wanted to be away from it altogether.
So what's your advice to Theresa May?
Rethink what she's just done.
And what they've promised.
Yeah, and go back to what was originally promised and what we originally hoped for.
Hard Brexit or not, the hard yards of negotiations are still to come, even if the current pace of change is clearly not to everyone's liking.